were narrating how you had to, they brought you your boxer shorts. Did you change eventually into?
You see.
So how did you get out of the NIB facility? How could he? For what exactly? This is how it all happened. Was after he came out to grant an interview to a journalist with Joy News. And what I'm going to show you is a video that was captured by Joy News that actually starts the entire incident. Martin Kpebu is with us in the studio, but this is how it all started. Take a look at this.
Council, we are here. Solo. Yeah, Council. So, briefly before you go inside, just okay. Shall I ready? So, Martin Kpebu is here. He's going to meet an investigative team as part of his third appearance before the OSP. So, what are your expectations ahead of this encounter?
That they would get it right this time. Remember, I've been here twice, and they couldn't constitute an independent committee. They kept making me appear before subordinates to the special prosecutor. They kept making me appear before subordinates. Subordinates can't investigate their boss. It's incompetence. You see, that's the very thing they did, and then Ofuriatta left Ghana, and that's what they've done on 2 occasions. So today, if I get in there and the board or whoever, the committee is not properly constituted, I'm not coming back.
But are you willing to cooperate?
Oh, absolutely. That's not in doubt. It's not. We haven't even reached that threshold at all. Look, let's get it clear. What Mr. Kissi Agyabeng has been doing so far, the 2 appearances, is that I should give my information to his subordinates. You, Fatao, can you investigate your boss? Can you investigate your boss? Can you investigate Mr. Kwesi? Where is that going to happen? And until you can keep your job. It's ridiculous. So now I understand how he just botched this whole Ofuriatta matter, that he can't even get basic things right. Basic things. You're saying that give information to your subordinate. How is the subordinate going to investigate the boss? Where does that happen? Okay.
Thank you very much. So we would have a conversation. We would have a conversation when you are done with the engagement. So Martin Kpebu is here, and he's going to have a conversation. He's going to have a conversation this very afternoon at the office of the special prosecutor. So when he's done, we can have an extensive conversation as far as this particular engagement is concerned. But clearly, Martin Kpebu said he's willing to cooperate with the officers this afternoon as far as, but Council, we told that you are not really willing to cooperate. In fact, the last time Sami Daku posted on his Facebook page that you don't want to cooperate with the team. In fact, you were asked some questions, you refused to answer all of those.
Yeah, so I'm surprised Sami Daku is using the word not willing to cooperate. That's
Martin Kpebu there. So I showed you this interview because it was what was cited as one of the reasons. Council, just tell us, with what we just saw, you're coming out, granting this interview, you had to move a bit further away. What exactly happened in this? Quick one.
Good. So let's go to just that part. You see, we had to move. You see me beckoning. Whilst we were talking, what you couldn't see in your shot was a policeman, Mr. J, came to tell Fatah Bayarga, the journalist and the cameraman, that summing up, I've told you not to conduct interviews here, so move further. That you see how we moved to the final point, and that was continuous. So move. So though he wasn't talking to me, I felt that, look, as I said, I have solid evidence, so I don't want my case to snowball into side issues. You see, as you sit on TV, you know, sometimes people expect higher standards from you. So I saw that, no, don't argue with the policeman. So you see quickly, though he wasn't talking to me, you see my hand, I'd say move, and we moved. No, he wasn't talking to me. Yeah. So when I was done with the interview, I came in. So I even expected, when I came back into the OSP yard, and the reason, let's be fair to the journalists, the reason the journalists were hesitant was that where we're standing, it's not labeled as OSP. It's an ECG facility. It's an ECG room with machines in there. I don't know what they are. Ordinarily, we say transformer, but I'm not an expert. So let's just say ECG facility with some machines in there. Okay. Good. So that's why the journalists were surprised that the policeman was driving us away. But I quickly said, no, just obey. And then we moved. So when I finished and came into the yard, the first person I met was Mr. J, the policeman. And then standing by the security post, He looked at me, I looked at him, then I passed. With hindsight, I think I expected him to commend me that, hey, Councillor, I wasn't even talking to you yet. See how you cooperated. He wasn't talking to me, yet I moved the journalist and the cameraman. So when I walked past Mr. J, maybe 2-3 steps, then I heard you. So you, then I turned. When I turned, it was a soldier. So I would say a soldier because at that time, I didn't think that there was a second soldier. So a soldier said, you, I allowed you to park here, and then you decide to go out to make conduct media interviews. Next time, I'll not allow you to do that. So I shot back that, which laws have I broken? You can't prevent me. You don't have such rights. Because what have I done wrong? Then he kept quiet. So I continued to move. So by this time, you say maybe 5 meters down the line. Then I heard, as for me, then once again I turned. Then I saw another soldier. Then he continued. As for me, next time you come and do that here, I'll show you, pa. And that's a military man who pointing fingers. I'll show you. That's the second soldier, not the first one. I'll show you. It was quite menacing. It was quite threatening. So, naturally, the lawyer in me would not just keep quiet and go. I'm a lawyer. Lawyers, we are trained to ask questions. We are trained to, investigate matters. A lawyer is also an investigator. So I shot back that, what powers do you have? A lawyer is an investigator. Somebody is telling me that next time I'll show you, pa. You see, I want to say I'll show you Pepe. Yeah, that's Ghanaian English. I'll show you Pepe, right? So I tend to say, what powers do you have? You can't do anything. And instead of him to show me the powers, what law, etc., the next thing I knew, he said, I'm a stupid man. You see? We are debating.
I see. So you asked him the question about what power he has.
Yes, what power? He can't do anything. What is it? What power does he have? So it means that show me the law, whatever you're going to. He couldn't do that. You see, when his arguments are finished, then he will tend to insult. When a person cannot argue, he tends to insult. So he now said, you're a stupid man. So I looked at it. I also shot back that he's also stupid. He's an idiot. Yeah, then we kept trading stupid idiot. We traded that maybe 3-4.
Each other.
Yes, that one I'll say. But a distance of about 5 meters between us, or more, minimum to be about 5 meters.
I see.
So then one of my lawyers came and grabbed me that we should go. And then we went inside.
Okay.
Yes. And over there, I asked to make a report. So that was it. Nobody arrested me at that point. When we entered the reception, if you're on our way to the reception, it's quite a distance. From the security post to the reception, it can be at least 15 meters minimum. So on our way, we met a police lady coming out. She's one of the persons who will search you. So she'll search females when you get into the reception. Okay. And I told her, Madam, I'm coming to lodge a complaint against these soldiers. But she said nothing to me, and she walked towards the soldiers. So I entered. When we got into the reception, I told them I wanted to make a report against that soldier, not the two. To be clear, I don't have a problem with the first one because I asked him a question, he didn't answer. That's it. It's the second one, the short one.
I see.
So then at the reception, they said they will help me to make the complaint. It has to be a phone call, so I should sit. So after the protocols, we sat down. But by the time we're going upstairs to go and meet Mr. Abraham Ablomensa, that's the chief of staff of the OSP. At that time, I didn't even know he was the one we were to meet. No, but so let's say before we're going upstairs to meet the persons we were to meet, they still hadn't been able to help me make the complaint. So when we went upstairs and then we're ushered in, it turned out that the persons we met during our second invitation were the same person. That's Abraham Ablomensa. He's the chief of staff of the OSP, and then lawyer Albert Paddington. So when we sat down, did the normal protocols, then we said, no, the first thing to be addressed is that verbal abuse. The way the soldier has abused me, we want them to deal with it. Long story short, so they agreed and went down. They came back 45 minutes later and said that there are counter accusations against me. So since they don't have jurisdiction to investigate that, I should write my statement so that there will be a different administrative panel to deal with that issue. So I agreed. Then quickly I wrote my statement. Afterwards, now we came to the main business for the day, which is that, yes, you are here. We've asked you to come once again, the third time, to present us evidence of the corruption against Kissi Agyabeng, etc. And we'll shortly go into at least some of the evidence. Today, I'll show you a bit more so that you'll be convinced that I'm not joking. At least at my age, I've done 18 years at the bar. So I won't come and make statements if I don't have any evidence at all. So then we told them, but Mr. Ablomensa, the last time we came here, he wasn't in the first meeting. So the second meeting, he was in charge. The first meeting, can you imagine? As part of their incompetence, the first meeting we went to, OSP brought Albert Akrugu. Albert Akrugu that are accused of conflict of interest, etc. And right now there's a petition against him and Kissi Agyabeng as tried. OSP presented Albert Akrugu as the man leading the charges to collect my information to go and investigate.
So you had concerns with that and you raised some of
Yes, I said, Albert Akrugu, you're a lawyer, you should know. How can you come? I've named you already, so you can't. Then that's how come the first meeting ended. And then we also said we needed an independent body. You can't, you, Albert, you are a subordinate to Kissi, and the other officer on the first day is also a subordinate. So that's how come the first day the meeting ended, because they were not credible. I mean, they are not the credible persons to take my information. Then we came to the second meeting a week later, about a week later. And that meeting, that's the one Abraham Ablo-Mensah, the chief of staff of the OSP, and lawyer Paddington met us. Then we raised the same objection that, look, both of you are subordinates to Kissi Agyabeng. Kissi Agyabeng is your boss. Look, if you exonerate him, we will say, but how can a subordinate investigate the boss? If you find him liable to, we'll say, hey, you have a beef to you have a beef with him, or you have an axe to grind with him. That's why you could find your boss liable. So whichever way, the optics don't look good. So please, let's find an independent body. So it was at the second meeting, not this Wednesday, that we pointed out that, okay, breaking it down in simple English, maybe let us meet the board. At least the board on paper are supposed to be independent of the special prosecutor. I mean, because they are not employees, that angle.
Right.
So that's for starters. But if we met the board, we would come and tell Ghanaians, these are the people we met. And if it turns out that Ghanaians know that, hey, this board member, he brought 10 people to Kissi Agyabeng to employ there, etc. If we find out that they've begged favors from Kissi Agyabeng, we'll disqualify them. Okay. So me, I know what to do. At least I'm a lawyer. You investigate step by step. Right. So we're willing to meet the board. Then they said, okay, we should go. So that was the second meeting. So when we went the third meeting, it was still the same lawyer Paddington and Mr. Abraham Ablo-Mensah. So we said, but last week we came here, we told you that you are subordinates, you can't investigate your boss, blah, blah, and you've called us here. Then they insisted that they can do it. So we said, no, I will not give you the information. I will shortly give you a few here today, so that you see that that's just a tip of the iceberg. So they said, no, they would not, for them, it's been decided that they should investigate what concerns the OSP, not the special prosecutor. To be fair to them, they now showed me the distinction that they are to investigate the matters concerning the office, not the special prosecutor himself. So I said, no, most of my allegations are against Kissi Agyabeng, and that's how, and those allegations, because when the board, you see, the boss of an institution is the #1 ambassador. So though, like for Ghana, there are ambassadors properly so-called, President Mahama is the #1 ambassador of Ghana. So the head of an institution is ambassador. So when there are allegations against him, it affects the institution. So this distinction is like what we say, a distinction without a difference. So please, no, the value is the same. Okay. So that was the end. We said we'll not give them the information. Then Ablo-Mensah stepped out and came back 15 minutes later with the policeman to arrest me.
I see. And that was...
And we'll soon show that they had no power to arrest me in this instance. OSP.
And they arrested you and took you where?
Yeah, so then they didn't even tell me. I didn't even get an opportunity to call my family. Handcuffed me. But before then, look, let's give 1 minute so that you see the sequence. Before they handcuffed and took me away, what happened was that Ablo-Mensah went out and came back about 30 minutes later and said that's after the arrest and after I'd written my statement. I wanted to obey quickly because that way you get bail. Kofi or ADG, you are here. If you cooperate ordinarily, you get bail. But if you argue too much, then you argue, they'll come and tell the public that when they sought to go through, every lawyer knows that if they say they will arrest you, the next thing after that, generally, though it's not written in hard law, is that write your statement. But if the police are very busy after the arrest, they can grant you bail and then you write your statement later. But this one, you could see that they were on a mission, so don't argue. So I just told the lawyers, come on, let him do the arrest quickly. The policeman was at one. I said, come on, let him come and do. Well, I presume he's a policeman. He's yet to. I'm yet to know. So let's say the OSP officer. So I said, come on, come and do it quickly, so that I write my statement, so that I can ask for bail. So we didn't argue at all. So you see, that's Kpebu. No, you should know when to argue, know when to pick your fight. You don't just fight anywhere. You are in their custody. I mean, yes, practically in their custody. You won't get out, even if you argue 1,000 times. So quickly, he came and then he touched my shoulder. You are under arrest for so obstructing an officer, blah, blah. Then the rest, to paraphrase, they will say, you are not obliged to say anything, but if you say anything, it will be written down and then presented in court as evidence against you, blah. So when they were done, they said, hey, yes, write your statement. Then quickly, I wrote my statement. So after the statement, grant me bail. Then Abraham Ablo-Mensah said he's going to consult. Presumably his bosses. He's going to consult. So he went, Albert Akugu, Sami Daku, and then Kissi Agyabeng. So he went and then came back about 30 minutes later and said, yes, okay, they've agreed to grant me bail. But the condition is that I should bring a property in my name, landed property, in my own name. So it looked very ridiculous. I burst out laughing when I heard that condition, similar to Paul Adumochiri's...
landed property in your name.
Yes. You see how life, a few months ago, we're on Paul Adumochiri's case. Somebody said, you see, now a few months down the line, Kpebu, you see, they've given you the same condition. The abuse of Kissi Agyabeng and the OSP. So quickly, what happened was that, it looked very laughable. That, a soldier abuses me, I also reply, and now you're saying I should bring landed property. So we said, oh, please, vary the terms. Then he said, okay, he will go and consult. He went and came, another 15 minutes. You see the delay tactics. He came back another 15 minutes on variation of the bail terms and said, no, they are not willing to vary. So by now, it was around 6:10 p.m. So once I saw that they were not willing to vary, fortunately for me, I've always had an indenture in the office for the past 4 years. I know where it lies. So quickly, I told one of my lawyers that I should go to the office. And my office is just, even if you are walking, about 10 minutes walk, if you are walking from OSP to my, so it's close. If you are driving, it's less. So quickly, Marcel Yunus-Bia went to the office. But as soon as, when Marcel left, then Ablo-Mensah went out again. He came about 3-4 minutes later to tell us that even if Marcel Yunus-Bia brings the indenture, they need to verify it. And since it was past 6 p.m., they can't do that that Wednesday night. So they would rather send me into custody and continue tomorrow. Then we said, Ablo-Mensah, Martin Kpebu, I'm always here. If you want to find me, you find me TV3, you find me in court, you find me in my office. OSP, you know my office. You've been delivering. How can I run out of Ghana because a soldier insulted me and I insulted? Hey, look, you see there. Mr. Kanse, are you surprised that they are they did this? And I'm not surprised because people who could allow Oforiatta to travel, they didn't know how to blow their whistle, do a common press statement. Ghanaians, Oforiatta is about to flee Ghana. Kissi Agyabeng who couldn't do that. I'm not surprised that Ablo-Mensah couldn't reason that I would not abscond. So he said even if Marcel Yunus-Bia brings the indenture, it can't work. So he told Mr. J, the policeman that I obeyed very well at the beginning, he told him to handcuff me. I can mention that he is a policeman because he was in police uniform and his name shows AJ. You know, usually they put only the surname, AJ. So AJ handcuffed me and then next thing I knew, all the pleas for them to wait for Marcel to bring the indenture didn't work. So then they took me downstairs. To add insult to injury, what they did was that the first soldier whom I asked the question to show me his authority for saying next time. The one you exchanged your insults with? No, the first one. The first one. Who did him? He now came. He was the one who came with his gun. It was the one who had to escort me. Oh, I mean, come on. So like now we are showing you where power lies. So we went through the elevator and then into a car. As I said, I was not allowed to call my family. We should be doing serious law reforms on that. You arrest a person, the first thing you have to do is let him call his family. Let him call his family. It must be law. To be aware of what your whereabouts. Yes. Because I think that even... But they've not put it in hard. Because you and I went to law school, we're not taught, maybe today if you ask me, I can't find it in the law. So bring it more prominently clear that when a person... We are doing that for juveniles. We are doing that for juvenile justice. I've seen a draft bill where it is stated that allow the person, they should call the family. This one, so straight to the middle of nowhere because they didn't tell me where we were going. Then we sat in the car. So I protested that no, I don't see what soldiers are doing in OSP. So I can't have the soldier escort me. So when we got to the gate, Mr. J, the policeman, who was now the driver of the car, asked the soldier to get down. And then they brought a policeman. Hey, if you saw him He's like the two soldiers combined. You see the way Ghanaians are fixated. Huge, tall, thick, tall. Now say Bemani. You know, we are so fixated about soldiers. If you saw the policeman, you see that, yes, like what I've been telling you. You know, in the police, they also have SWAT team. If it's strength you are looking for fiscal power and the rest. I'm telling you that policeman is twice. He's the soldier, the two soldiers combined. Is that one policeman?
So they didn't tell you they were taking you to
they didn't tell me. Then they started driving. Drivers are maneuvering through the traffic. Then it got to a point, once we got to Ridge Roundabout, there's a certain road leading to BNI headquarters. So I knew that, I couldn't be sure because you can use it and go to police headquarters. So let's say I still wasn't sure, but I thought that maybe it would be BNI. And lo and behold, because you get to BNI before you get to, that's the headquarters, before you can get to police headquarters. So they entered the BNI headquarters. Then the OSP officer, as I said, he's not wearing uniform. So I can say he's OSP officer. He now went in and then booked. There's a document, blah, blah, blah. So I even thought they were going to put me in that BNI cell. There's a BNI cell at the headquarters. Clients have told me that place is very warm. So a senior Kipo, Mr. Kipo, you know, coincidentally, Mr. Kipo and I attended St. Charles Minor Seminary. So senior, this is why we beg you. They say that cells in the headquarters is very hot. I have a client who left. I was just about writing a letter to him about last week when my trouble started. So Mr. Kipo, they say the cells in the BNI headquarters is too hot. The ventilation is very poor. So I dreaded it when we entered there. Hey, my stomach started changing. I was like, my client told me that this place is warm. And I said, I'll write to Mr. Kipo.
Now you're going to face it yourself.
Then thankfully, they didn't make me alight. So then we started the journey. So once we left there, it was clear to me that we are going to Kaokudi. And also from experience as a lawyer, I'm aware that the Kaokudi facility is far better. It's far better.
That's the National Intelligence Bureau facility.
Yes, the Kaokudi one. So, Mr. Kipo, please, we beg you, the BNI headquarters there, that facility, improve it. Okay? So, then, listen, they took me to the Kaokudi place, and then we alighted, and then they took the handcuffs off, and then they had to process me to put me in the cells. Hey, they brought my gown. Hey, Charlie, but that's when you know that, yes, reality was beginning to dawn on me that, yes, today you go sleep here. But somehow, I was very confident that...
So they brought you a gown that you
have to
change your outfit
and wear the gown. Brought me fresh...
We went the last time.
The back one. So at the back. They bring you boxes and then, hey, Charlie. Then they put the things down. Then they say I should sit. But of course, before they start changing, you have to go through process. They will process you. You have to fill a lot of biodata, a lot. They will gather a lot because they need to know who they are putting in custody. Everything, your wife and children, your hometown, everything, plenty things. Your parents, whether dead or alive, you have to write where they were. Hey, Charlie, voluminous. So we did. Then afterwards, so there were more processes they were doing. So long story short, they were still in their processes. And then, you know, all this while, I was hopeful that I would be removed, that I'll be released, because it was ridiculous that Kissi Agyabeng was just trying to show me where power lies. And you see, I was a bit traumatized. I said, so a lawyer power can be put in charge of a state institution and he will be behaving like a non-lawyer. That I have a case against you. If Kissi Agyabeng, you think I've defamed you, sue me in court, let's go and deal. You can't use your police powers to arrest me, Kpebu. So I was shocked. And Kissi Agyabeng made first class in University of Ghana. So I was like, And we used to respect Kissi. Hey, those days when we were in Request War, Kissi was intelligent. Everybody knew that this intelligent law student. So even at the time of his appointment, even though Martin Amidu pointed to conflict of interest because Kissi Agyabeng is a lawyer to Gabi Ochredako and Oforiata. Kissi Agyabeng worked for Oforiata. But you know, because we were in school, he was a year ahead, and everybody knew that he was intelligent. At the time of his appointment, he made the first class. I was like, oh no, the guy actually be shocked. He will rise above it. Hey, I didn't know that Amidu would be right. I didn't know. And people who know Kissi Agyabeng personally, they met me and say, you people, you don't know this boy. When you say you have...
So that's Adam Senano on this, but I just wanted Mr. Martin Kpebu to just conclude on the point, because Kofi Bento had to leave us. Yes. I had to just...
okay. Oh, sorry.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
And because you were narrating how you had to... they brought you your boxer short. Did you change eventually into your outfit?
I was lucky. I didn't change, you see.
So how did you get out of the NIB facility?
So to make a long story short, eventually the arguments, even though I was in custody, the arguments continued. That's engaging the OSP. So various forms of engagement. And then eventually he saw the illegality, the folly of what he had done. So they had to let me out. And very soon we'll show. Look, Mr. Okanse, I'm showing you what the mandate of the OSP is. Corruption and corruption-related offenses means then they've listed them. This, their section 69(3) of the OSP Act. It's not part of Kissi Agyabeng's mandate. He can't investigate obstructing an officer of the OSP. It's not part of the mandate. It's not part. Do you see in recent times, was it not when Cecily Adapaya's matter came up? He said he had no mandate to do money laundering. So he returned Cecily Adapaya's money. Of course, he will say it's the judge who ordered, but we all know that he didn't fight enough. That's why. Then, just 2 years on, the NPA case comes, and then he's doing money laundering, ostensibly to allow them to escape. After saying Cecily Adapaya's case, you don't have jurisdiction in money laundering. Maybe you go to court for a clarification. You don't go. So how did he get power 2 years on to now say that in the NPA case, he's doing money laundering? I see it as a ruse to allow, those charges for them to be exonerated.
That's how you see it?
Yes, that's how, and I have grounds. Has he shown us?
Petroleum Authority case.
Yes, you see money laundering charges there. Pull it out. Let Abdallah, producer, pull it out. Number two, you go to the Oforiata case, SML, you see causing financial loss. Causing financial loss. I'm brandishing the law here, Section 79 of the OSP Act. Causing financial loss is called Section 179 of the Act, 29, the Criminal Offences Act. And for viewers, we no longer call it Criminal Code. Its name has changed, Criminal Offences Act.
Yes.
So that's for the Attorney General. Yet, if you check the Oforiata SML matter, he's charged them with plenty of offenses on causing financial loss, also to cause them to be exonerated. So now, let's go, Mr. Okanse. I have said Kissi Agyabeng is corrupt, and he thinks he can show me. I'll show you just a little bit. Let me show you this letter.
When you made that statement, I asked that if you have evidence, if you are called to answer, because we here cannot support with evidence what you are saying.
I'll just show you two cases.
Of proof is on you.
I have more than 10, but I'll show you just two because we don't have time. Number one.
The burden of proof is on you.
Let me go ahead, Mr. Okanse. Look, 3rd November 2023. After Kissi Agyabeng had exonerated Boahene, and I'm still to sue them. I'll sue them on that matter separately. I'm still doing the research. Okay, it doesn't matter that it's 2 years.
You're actually going to sue?
Yeah, I'm suing because he says influence peddling is not part of our laws. But go and check. The director of prosecutions at the OSP, Dr. Isidore Tufo, all his students he's taught all these years. He teaches them that it is influence peddling is part of the law. Today, he's director of prosecutions in the OSP, and Kissi Agyabeng is telling him that there's no part. I mean, what I mean is that we lawyers generally have understood that influence peddling is part of our law. But Kissi, in order to just free Boahene, and I'll show you the allegations of what he benefited from that one. But let me start, the one that is written. Please project it. 3rd November 2023. Kissi Agyabeng, after saying Boahene did nothing wrong, he didn't breach the laws, right? Okay. Now wrote to Charles Boahene. He says, you are directed to disgorge yourself of the cash amount of 40,000 United States dollars you received as a gift from the undercover agents who undertook the documentary by depositing the cash sum at the OSP. Cash. Kissi Agyabeng is asking for that money cash. OSP, don't they have an account? Why is Kissi Agyabeng asking for that money cash? Why is Kissi Agyabeng asking for that money cash? Has Kissi Agyabeng revealed to us that he asked Boahene to bring the 40,000 and Boahene didn't bring it? Which law did Kissi Agyabeng use to make that demand? Which law did Kissi Agyabeng use? Look at him. Look, Mr. Okanse, I won't put out. Anyway, he signs publicly, so his signature is out there. This is it. He signs documents publicly, so that one, that's it. You see, that's one. Number two, the corruption
there
case.
Was something that you were showing, which were
yes, I saw the letter. He signed it. This is his signature. Has he ever disclosed to the public that he asked for the cash sum of 40,000? Which law was he using? Where was the money going? A public officer, you are saying they should bring you $40,000 cash. Kissi Agyabeng, does OSP have bank accounts or not?
as we are working to
answer. Let's go to case number 2.
But this document, you checked with your sources, it is from the OSP?
Yes, you can ask this Charles Boahene's lawyers. They wrote him a stinker. And then Kissi Agyabeng recoiled. They wrote him a stinker. On what basis? When they asked him which law
you're talking about is the former deputy
finance minister. The one he took the $40,000 from the sheikh. Then Kissi Agyabeng, you wrote and said, oh, no, he has not breached any law. If he hasn't breached the law, why did you subsequently write to him that he should bring you $40,000 cash so that you go and blow it? You thought you will never see it. Let's go to case number 2.
This is it part of what you are putting together as what? Evidence against him? Because as we are independently checking this particular document that you reference, is it
Mr. Kanse, at least I have a bit of...
Is it part of evidence you are...
Mr. Kanse, I don't intend to discuss my petition. Let me go to my case number 2. I don't intend to discuss the petition. After the petition,
I like how you have escaped.
Yes, I don't intend to discuss
some documents.
I don't intend to discuss my petition. As for the petition, is going live. Now people of Ghana can see. But okay,
so
I've practiced law 18 years. So for you to think that I can just come and sit down, Mr. Kanse, today is not my first time I've come here. I've been on TV consistently since 2016. So you don't know that, this guy, if I look that foolish, I don't think I would have gotten that longevity. So you should know that when I start making noise, I'm sitting on something. Go to case number 2. Listen, when Atachia, this guy, Kingsley Agyabeng, now the one who has replaced Atachia, is Buakwa Saf. He wanted to become MP. And you know what he did? At that time, he was head of scholarship secretariat. So he got some people. I don't need to go into those names. The documents are here. He got this young man to do a smear campaign against him. We'll project that statement. If you are interested in names, you can see it there. To do a smear campaign that Atachia is corrupt, etc., so that Kingsley Agyabeng would give him, the young man, 2 scholarships. 2. So that is corruption. A public officer, Kingsley Agyabeng, using his office for private gain, etc., right? Now, the young man did the work. Long story short, eventually alarm blew. So a case was reported to the OSP. So, and of course, the work helped Kingsley Agyabeng to beat Atachia, so he won. Yes.
Is this the first issue you referenced? There's a
so as I go on. So as time went on, then they did, yes, that's the letter. That's it. Ask Kissi Agyabeng. Ask him.
Okay.
You come and tell the public that there's no case against Charles Boahene. Then
the content of what you referenced.
This is it.
Is direction to attend.
Just go to the last paragraph.
The special prosecutor.
You are directed to disgorge yourself by depositing the cash sum at the OSP, public officer. You are not saying go and put it in our bank account. You say bring it me the cash sum. He will answer for this. This is just a tip of the iceberg. Let's move on to the case number 2. Let's move on to case number 2. So Kingsley Agyabeng got this young man to do a smear campaign and he beat Atachia. Case reported to OSP and then they did the investigations. When this Mark Oliver, the officer, Makisedu, sorry, he was going to arrest Atachia. Sorry, not Atachia. He was going to arrest Kingsley Agyabeng, the scholarship secretariat boss. Kissi Agyabeng stepped in and said, he's my friend. Don't arrest him. Yet you have the statements, they finished investigation, the young man has confessed.
And all this is captured in
so they show that
document?
witness, show that caution statement.
I see.
Kissi Agyabeng says, it's my friend. That's corruption. That's not the only case he's favored his friends. There are many cases. So please, don't come and look. There's no time to go into all of them. So we'll create another forum and then we'll go into the cases one by one.
So apart from the 3 petitions, you are putting together a petition.
Mr.
Kanse, presidency.
Absolutely. But I don't intend to discuss the contents of my petition. I want to be a law-abiding citizen.
I won't.
Yes, but I'm just showing you 2 cases. If there's time, I'll show you more cases. So as for corruption, when I said Kissi Agyabeng is corrupt, I knew what I was talking about. I mean, come on.
And you're going to, you have documents.
Please show the witness statement. You see the young man say that he did it, Kingsley Agyabeng, the MP now, got him to do it for 2 scholarships. such a case reported, they are going to arrest Kingsley Agyabeng. Then Kissi Agyabeng says stop. If not, it will ruin Kingsley Agyabeng's chances in the elections.
Because I just wanted to clarify something.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Samuel Atachia did not contest the 2024 election, so there was really no contest.
No, the primaries, MPP primaries.
No, he did not. He did not contest. That's why I just wanted that clarity.
Okay, yes. So that was part of the smear campaign to get him out. Yes.
He didn't contest the primaries.
Yeah, I'll consider that was a smear campaign. They had done the work that he's corrupt. Oh, the public, you can Google and see the allegations.
Okay.
That Atachia is corrupt, excess, so they ruined him.
So I'll pull through that document you referenced.
Yes.
But
yes.
So I understand you to say that but for Kingsley Agyabeng, Atachia would have contested the primaries, correct?
I believe so.
Oh, okay.
And then, as you're saying, so what?
So was there merit that he was actually corrupt? I mean, Atachia. The reason why he decided...
That's another kettle of fish. The main thing is, as I said, smear campaign.
I just wanted to avoid doubt. That's why
so he wasn't... They didn't... After making those smear campaigns, if they believed in it, I think maybe they should have reported to OSP. I don't know about that. Oh. The key thing, not that because we don't have time, we just want to get the principle. Yes. If you put out the young man's statement, he said he did it for Kingsley Agyabeng, so that Kingsley Agyabeng, as head of scholarship secretariat, will give him 2 scholarships, which is corruption. So case reported to OSP. Long story short, they are about to do. So Kingsley was going to contest 2024 elections. That's the time they wanted to arrest him. No, that's the one I'm talking about.
Right.
So Kingsley was going to, is he not MP now?
That clarity.
Yeah, Kingsley is an MP now. Yeah, I think because I felt a bit heckled. Please, Kingsley is an MP now. And the young man says, you, Kingsley, you asked me to do a smear campaign on Atachia, blah, 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 blah.
This is captured in a witness statement.
Yes, maybe you can project it. You can project the witness statement. And this is what the first time. You know, when this matter first came out, Kingsley, he will sue that firm, he will sue Joy FM. Ask Kingsley Agyabeng, where did the case end? Where did the case end? After, of course, now he's MP, so he's not interested. But they showed him something small. He backtracked. So I'm telling that this is just a tip of the iceberg. You don't have time. So please, when I say Kissi is corrupt, I beg you, don't come and say that I don't know what I'm talking about. This is just a tip of the iceberg.
Well, that's what his office said.
Yes, so he stopped Esiedu from arresting Kingsley Agyabeng. Ask yourself, Dr. Kingsley Nyaku's case, the one the MP was caught on camera giving money, etc., the MPP MP. Where is the case? Sami Daku came and said on air that they finished. They'll file the charges soon. Many months on.
No, hold on.
As for the cases,
gentlemen. So I just hope that one is my turn.
It is.
I'm not.
Dr. Tato, yes. So he is referencing some specific documents which I wanted to query.
No problem.
And get a bit more.
Yeah, and this one.
Yes. So that's what you
forgery. The forgery OSP letterhead. Ask Kissi Agyabeng. Why hasn't that case?
So that was confirmed.
Yeah, that there
was a forgery. So you see,
so I asked that corruption-related offense, not only forgery. Oh, I'm saying it's in there. When you go down, you see the young man say, "I did it for 2 scholarships." Kingsley was to give me 2 scholarships.
This is a witness statement. So I had all of this done so as to serve as some solid context for the conversation, which is important because all what has been happening involving Kpebu and the Special Prosecutor's Office has had to do with allegations he has made against the person and some operators within the office, which is being called upon to authenticate. And now it's been established that the office itself investigating allegations against it is even problematic in the first place. Then we have what Kpebu was subjected to last week. How tenable is this?
Well, thank you very much. So far, as you know, I have disagreed with my brother Martin, but I admire him. I admire him for his staying power. And I believe these engagements provide opportunity for us to contribute to our legal and administrative practices. I think I need to ask my lawyer friends who should be taking note. Because, for example, this issue of the office inviting him to speak to the allegations. Is it right or wrong? In my view, as others have said, as an administrative process of trying to learn, it's a useful action. It appears that we have a lacuna there is there some legal reform? Is there some entity that ought to be establishing the practice based on the experience? Because the office is new, this experience is new. What are the things we can learn from it so they are not repeated in the future? Even if you take the issue of him being arrested and detained, should that have happened? Is there law backing what they did or not? Who is actually taking the actions to draw the lessons and say this should be the practice? I think it's a very important learning curve we are in, and I'm wondering whether we already are set up in a way that some aspect of legal reform or judicial reform is looking at these issues and can pull it together as learning for the future. So that's important. He said that today he was going to raise additional cases. So far, what he has provided...
In fact, just to put on record, what he was subjected to within the week is one that cannot be countenanced in any way. That's what you said.
No, I didn't put it that way. I said we need to understand whether the law support what they did or not. And I think that we need an authoritative...
But I think it's been established here. I don't think that there's no clarity.
No, you've had panelists speak to it.
And
I'm saying that we need
you want to test the law where again?
Well, it's probably something that should have been taken to court.
I see.
Yes, in my mind, it's not sufficient to just have the panelists speak to it, because it might be opinion A versus opinion B. Indeed, one of the issues on my mind is that ideally you should have a representative of the OSP here, because there's a gap, there's a lacuna of natural justice. We are hearing one side of the story. We don't know what the counter arguments are.
Well,
and yet you are saying we are drawing
the statements that the OSP itself has
put out
Alfred, responding to exactly what they did to Martin Kpebu. And that was the basis for my questions to Kofi Bentil and to lawyer Eduji Tamaklo, who have referenced the law that establishes the office.
Yes, that's true.
And what the police power is given to it should be used for.
That's true, but I don't know whether a panel of this nature has the competency and the capacity to draw the final conclusion on the matter. I don't know for a fact. But, now, please, can I finish?
I referenced what the law says. And so, if the law is there in black and white, what else?
Yes, but who says this is the only consideration? Who says this is the only law? Who says these are the facts that led to the actual action? So, I am saying, let's have both parties available so they can interrogate it properly. Because as it is, it was one of the major issues I was going to read that it's a bit problematic. So I want to find out from you. I wanted to find out from you. Did you invite a representative of the OSP?
They have spoken. And
no. The question is,
I don't want to spend time on it. They have spoken, and I referenced.
Okay, so you didn't invite them. So I have a problem with that. I think this is a kind of a trial in the media where we may not have all sides, so all the information is not available.
I think that we have gone on this path last week. And if you want me to reference and put it out, my engagement with this office is another conversation altogether. Respectfully, I don't want us to
I don't think you have formally invited them. I think it's good for you to formally invite them.
It's trial in the media. You know.
No, but you had not formally invited them.
Let's not spend.
You have not formally invited them, and I'm saying that's an important note to have. Make sure you formally invite them.
It's a feedback.
It's a feedback. So
no, there's something more which he's aware.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, so far I've disagreed, and even today's cases is raised. I'll speak to it later. I'm not entirely convinced. Now, I have a challenge. And my concern is when Martin talks about subordinates were invited to speak to him or gather information from him, and he kept telling them that no, that cannot be the case. On one hand, it seems to be the instance that he was expecting that the SP himself, which probably itself...
I never said so.
No, I said
the board.
It may seem as if you were expecting...
No,
okay.
The board members.
Okay, well, but I think that it is problematic when you go to an institution that has invited you, come and provide information, and then you appear to be dictating who should be able to speak to you or who you should be able to speak to. I think that did not set a right tone, that you go there and then begin to dictate. Are you
speaking law or you're just showing your opinion?
No.
We are talking law.
No.
The not natural justice.
No.
What does the optics say? You, Adam, where you work, can you investigate the Vice Chancellor of the Lagos?
Okay,
you have capacity. Can you investigate your boss?
Hold on.
I think that if an institution has invited you and you respect that institution, when you go there and they are asking questions, you don't begin to then, as it were, question the capacity of the persons engaging you, junior or not. If they have relevant questions to ask, you provide the information. To the extent that you told them they cannot investigate the SP and so on and so forth, I think that that was problematic. And I'm just stating it as it is, that I think that these engagements could have been handled much better than they appear to have been. Now, honestly speaking, the idea that when officers of the OSP engage you, whatever they did is the SP, and the languaging always seems to be that everything that was done by anybody else is the SP, also then raises issues of, are we making a distinction between the fact that we're there to provide information and just supporting, as Article 41 requires us, processes? So if they want to draw a conclusion, has our boss done something wrong or not, they can draw that conclusion and also move on. I think that as patriots, these are things that we should be able to do without necessarily creating any challenges. Especially when you said, oh, you've known about Kissi Agyabeng, he was intelligent. I mean, some of those nuances, let's try and manage them well so that it doesn't appear to be a personal thing between two persons who are very important within our anti-corruption space. I was quite bothered by the parliamentary posture on these issues because there are lots of implications for accountability. Especially when Honorable Kojo Nkrumah started speaking, and I think later was it Honorable Jinapo about how these are issues which go beyond this particular instance. It's as if security agencies have been weaponized against them. They've raised this in the past, but nobody has minded them. And now that it has touched one of your own, now you seem to want to take action. It left the impression that this was all about what affects their personal interests and people affiliated to them. I don't think that's the kind of picture we want to paint, that our parliamentarians, and there's enormous respect we have for them, that they don't want to promote accountability. That kind of narrative, and I don't know whether they were very aware that they were live on TV as we were speaking. It's not the kind of thing we want. So I was very bothered by that kind of thing, especially where there appeared to be bipartisan agreement now, and they suddenly went to the extent of saying, let's scrap the office. How do you jump when you have not invited, you have not spoken to the special prosecutor, found out what transpired on the day, and then you jump to, let's scrap the office? That was challenging. And again, when we're talking about no results, the kind of comparisons, comparing with whether it's Yoko of 33 years, Traj of 32 years, or FIC of 17 years, or ages of over 100 years. How do you compare an OSP office that has 7 years and counting, and at least 3 or 4 of those years, they didn't even have an office, they didn't have staff till 2 years ago, and we want to say, this work in progress institution, we are giving too much money. Plus, don't forget that Parliament itself is the one that approves the budget. The OSP has had to go there to defend this budget, be questioned on how they've used previous budgets, to demonstrate that they have been audited, and they've been audited annually. So, if all of a sudden we are throwing that out of the window and suggesting that this whole organization is not working, on what basis were we approving their budgets and have approved budgets this year as well? I think that all of that should be put into context. And then there was a part of no results, which I also found curious because it looks like nobody is paying attention to the cases because they have over 71 cases they've handled. They have about 7 convictions. From the data I have seen on their website, they've retrieved about $2 million. They've saved us about 5.7 billion Ghana cedis. So what are we talking about saying that there are no results? That also doesn't appear to reflect the reality on the ground. Mm-hmm. So if you're talking about abolish or reform, I would say none of the above. Let's strengthen the OSP. There are many of us who are part of the process of coming up with Act 959. We don't see that so far. Very compelling arguments have been made about the office in general, let alone the occupant at the moment. One of my experiences right on this platform, I think there were at least 3 of us on that day. Mm-hmm. Edwin, I think you were on my right. I can't remember. Was when the Airbus scandal, we're discussing it right here on this platform.
I think that day was
he was here. Yes, the two of us. He was on the other side. The two were on the other side.
The only new person is
yes, he was not here, but the two of us were on this platform. Where I said this was a watershed, that a sitting president had initiated an investigation against his predecessor. The case had been handled. And the office of the special prosecutor had the, I don't know whether I should say it, audacity to finish the case and tell the sitting president, you know what, this man you are listening is cleared. And I thought that, wow, if our institutions have that confidence to be able to act on such issues, and it's not that they waited till after to tell the man that, I'm sorry, this man is cleared, you know, I don't think that we should begin to dispense of such institutions and such individuals. They seem to suggest that these persons have nothing to offer. The two cases that you have cited today, the first one about depositing cash. In my mind, the cash will not be handed over to the special prosecutor. The office of the special prosecutor would have a system for collecting these monies. And for an office that has been audited annually and no grievous whatnot findings have been found again there. And what are we suggesting? That the $40,000 was paid into the pocket of the special prosecutor? That is not possible. So the fact that there's a letter saying bring back what you received in cash to the office and not to me. If the letter had said to me, special prosecutor, I'd have found an issue. But from what you put there, it is bring it to the office. The office definitely will have an account section. The question we should ask is, have auditors any data to show that this money was paid and it is in the coffers? Until we have done that, I think that it would be very unfair to suggest that that money went into the pocket of the special prosecutor. And then the second one
was paid. I said the lawyers wrote to him that there's no jurisdiction. He can't ask for it.
Oh, so it was not even paid?
Yeah, so the attempt. Why
the attempt? Oh, that is even worse. It's not compelling at all. Kissi Agyabeng.
And now you tell lawyer. So that now you're the professor of law.
Kissi Agyabeng. This is one that he says he's going to sue.
Okay, so we'll see what will come out of it. So that's good.
In
yeah,
law.
So that's good. That would be very much appreciated. Let him go to court and let's see what will come out. The attempt to ask that the money should be paid at the office is a crime. Now, Kissi Agyabeng, I still haven't seen the evidence. Where did the special prosecutor get into Kissi Agyabeng? What has he done?
The case is with him. So they were to arrest Kissi Agyabeng and he stopped Esiedu.
So where's the evidence that he stopped?
So that one, the witness will come and give the
my brother.
So the evidence is that Kissi was never arrested.
My brother Martin. You said the evidence is here today.
No, the man
2 out of 10 cases. You have many more.
So it's in the statement.
It's in the statement that Kissi said, do it for me for 2 scholarships. So that's the.
But Kissi is not Kissi Agyabeng.
The case is with his office. They were going to arrest Kissi. Then he stopped the officer.
And that's why
so you have an officer from the SP testifying that his boss told him not to.
He's my friend.
You see,
you come and then you'll be cross-examined.
This is the reason why I had him take time to go through this witness statement.
Sure.
Because if you're going to respond to it, you should have the context and the reference point right. So the questions you're asking are actually in the...
But I think that what Senanu... In fact, I was even confused.
It's the clarity
I was even confused. When Martin actually raised the first issue about the payment. Personally, I thought the payment had been done.
Exactly.
No. I said the lawyers wrote back.
I think he clarified that the lawyers...
No, not just... No, I said it
so there was an attack. Sorry, maybe I didn't. So it's important that you brought this clarity.
No, it was always there. Maybe you were busy, so you didn't hear. I said it.
General, hold on.
Okay, so this second one, you are saying that there's an officer who will provide the evidence.
Yeah.
Okay. This is why I'm saying that.
He has already sued even in court.
If it's not just going to be a media, whatnot, if you want real results, let's make sure that you reference.
That's why you reference this particular.
I think that's fair. Yes. I mean, now I have a little more clarity. I thought you were saying that in this, there's evidence that the Kissi Agyabeng was the one who stopped whichever action from being taken.
Yeah, that was all right. And the person is coming to testify. He's alive. And he has even sued Kissi Agyabeng. He has even sued Kissi Agyabeng already. So swords have been drawn. How Kissi Agyabeng stopped him? Because where have you seen this? A public officer says...
My knowledge is that the person is innocent until proven guilty, isn't it?
Oh, by all means.
So to that extent, therefore, this is all just...
Yeah.
We cannot begin to suggest that Kissi Agyabeng is corrupt when the courts haven't said so. I think that's unfair. I would not do that to my brother Martin. I don't think you should do it to anybody
I'm just
else.
stating my case. I'm not allowed.
Oh,
every case.
You are accepted. And I say I admire that staying power of yours.
Yeah.
On this note, my position is that, listen, this office is too important. Indeed, I think that the bipartisan agreement simply is because our politicians are afraid. They see the special prosecutor as
the political trap I was talking to you about.
So, yes, that's what you want the president to avoid.
President Mahama does it. No, the same civil society groups will now turn around and say, oh.
So you are questioning
look, this political trap, it will never happen. I pray it never happens.
Well,
let another person come and do it. Maybe Dr. Boahene after
whether he decides to go on this path. But
or maybe President
Dr. Zato is going to speak on this in a bit. He has been consistent that he thinks that this office has outlived its usefulness. I'll come to him on it. The Kpebu is going to have to leave us at some point. So I want to, in fact, having listened to Martin Kpebu to this point, you had intimated earlier in the year, in the week, that the OSP is not an octopus, and that his police powers to fight corruption doesn't include what happened to Martin Kpebu. They came out with an explanation a day after you put out that. Does that suffice?
No, it doesn't. And we need to make this very, very, very clear. One, the OSP is not a plenary authority. What it means is they don't have wide powers. Give me a bit of latitude. You see the talk in Parliament about it's unconstitutional and it wasn't properly constituted, etc. I was part of the discussions that led to the OSP. It was a wider effort.
In the establishment of the OSP.
A wider effort to deal with the corruption problems we were having. It really got into gear around President Kufuor's time, etc. And out of that, we got, the surcharge and disallowance. We got RTI. We got, all kinds of things, done. Point is this. In that process, there was no room in the Constitution to form any new institution to do prosecution apart from the AG. But the AG had consistently failed for almost a century. And it was clear to us that you can't sit in cabinet and prosecute your own colleagues. What I want to say is there was a lot of discussion. So this parliamentary, stuff we had this week about its own constitution, it was discussed. I think you were part of some of those discussions too. And that is why we took part of the Attorney General's powers and donated it to that office and then wrapped it up in independence. So number one, the OSP is not unconstitutional. But the point that has to be made is, when you take somebody's powers and give it to somebody, it was for a limited purpose. It is on the first page of the act that established the OSP. I put it on Facebook, and go and look at it. It is specific for anti-corruption issues and related matters. Now, in pursuance of that, they are given some police powers, not plenary police powers. So indeed, I am saying here, and I'm asking Sami Dakon, who I'm bantering with on Facebook, they didn't have any jurisdiction to arrest Martin Kpebu.
They didn't have any jurisdiction?
Oh, absolutely.
They didn't have any jurisdiction. Look, Martin Kpebu said somebody is corrupt. He said, you are inept. Please, if you don't have the skin to hear criticism from citizens, don't take public office. Don't go there. It is Martin Kpebu's right as a citizen to say whatever he wants to say to anybody, with all due respect, from President Mahama down to anybody in public office. If you are offended, sue him in defamation. In fact, if, with all due respect, even if he insults you, it is not a crime. And we don't have time to go into all these things, but you must understand that these are the things that the Constitution does for a liberal society. So please, sue him and let him answer. Now, when he makes accusations of corruption against you, in fact, his responsibility is to make those petitions to the president. So I say here, the OSP had zero jurisdiction to even invite Martin Kpebu. By the way, I'm part of Martin Kpebu's legal team. Okay.
Just for disclosure.
And our leader is lawyer Agbeshi Jakwasu, the former bar
I just wanted
president.
to clear that. I wasn't, but the point is, some of us advised him not to go.
Yes.
All right? He said, look, let me go. It doesn't spoil anything. I said, fine, that's fine. Anyway, then he comes there, as we speak, We don't know what charge. He hasn't been charged. Confirm if you
he has no. It's a caution statement.
You say it's not under investigation.
It's not.
But
It's
the
the
OSP says
altercation.
that you are being investigated.
No,
That's what Samida
no,
for
it's
what?
false. It's false.
That is why I'm saying, what is the charge? What is his offense? With what jurisdiction or authority was he arrested?
Kofi, can I come and brief it? Sami is talking about the one that should come and give information to them. That's the one he's been mistakenly calling under investigation.
When we talked, he said you have been invited.
Yes.
Okay? It
To
means
provide information.
invited to assist
Yes.
the OSP in
Yeah.
investigation. No man has a responsibility to assist a state institution.
I see.
Okay? If you want me to help you, fine.
By your own voluntary...
Offer it voluntarily. And that's why we said, look,
Voluntary,
we know what is going on and there's a tussle between
As a duty of
the
a citizen under Article 41,
So
it's
then
a
he goes
duty,
there.
but it's not a crime if I don't do it.
When he goes there, in fact, there was even an issue about the number of lawyers, etc. And I was like, so what if I also and everybody came?
Yeah.
Point is, then he gives an interview. And then somebody says he's obstructing. What was he obstructing? And if he's obstructing, okay, is it within the rules, the powers of the OSP to deal with that? So look, there are a lot of things to say. And for me, my interest is really that we don't ride on this to give a dog a bad name and hang it, because it's taken a lot of work for us to get this OSP thing done. And it's, however, going into this argument about scrapping the whole office.
But I just want to, before you get there, there's been a question about whether or not it is within the OSP's powers to investigate itself. So Martin Kpebu makes this allegation against the OSP, and it is the OSP that is investigating the allegations made by Martin Kpebu against that same office and the person.
Okay, there's a misunderstanding there.
Right and law.
By the Constitution, petitions go to the president, and the proper investigation is done according to the Constitution, not by the OSP. But every institution has a right to investigate allegations made against it as an administrative process.
Okay.
All right? So indeed, if the OSP did not have authority per se to investigate and make any decision concerning the kind of allegations that Martin Kpebu had made. Martin Kpebu says OSP is
Except that after its removal, we can do a criminal investigation.
That's another matter.
Yes.
Okay. My point on the question is, it says SP is corrupt and whatever. That office did not have any constitutional right to make a determination on that issue.
I see.
You see? And if Martin Kpebu was scurrilous, reckless, and defamed Mr. Kissi Agyabeng, who we all respect as a good criminal law scholar, then he can take him on personally. So as an institution, I repeat, the OSP had no jurisdiction in this matter, to the point where they proceed to arrest, detain him, and then all the things that happen. But again, like I said, the major issues are that we don't use this to kill something that has taken a lot of work to be done. It is not an unconstitutional office. It is a proper office. It is part of a larger architecture. There are others that are older than it that have done less than it. And if we have a problem with the special prosecutor, we shouldn't have a problem with the office of the special prosecutor. It is a necessary office. We need to keep
when I
it.
spoke to Professor Michael Kwe, who presided over the entire exercise in Parliament, on that night, you watched that interview, he said that upon hindsight, even though he presided over the process in Parliament, passing this act that established the Office of Special Prosecutor, he thinks that the office has outlived its usefulness. So, rather, that prior argument of the office not being needed in the architecture of the fight against corruption, and rather we strengthening the Director of Public Prosecution's office and then also the AG's office to do the work of the OSP, he thinks now it has more grounds to consider.
So, respectfully, Onukwa, that argument came up in those days. And it was well debated and well settled. Look, we have had the AG's office for over 100 years. Consistently failed, not because there were bad people there. There were structural issues there. And in the discussion, the decisions had been made that, look, the better thing to look, there's a lot of legal stuff that goes on in government. The government does contracts, multi-million-dollar deals and whatever it is, has to be advised. A lawyer has to do that. That has been put under the Attorney General. The government has to prosecute everybody in this country that falls foul of the law. That has been put under the Attorney General. The presidency, which is a temporary office, you elect a president every 4 years, you go and come back. That presidency needs legal advice the presidency as an executive is different from the state as the administration. The state is a wider body, okay? Now, that has also been put under the Attorney General. The person is an appointee of the president and a minister, sometimes Minister of Justice, also there. It's a member of, it's too much. The country has evolved, the country, things have become complex. So the conclusion was that, look, we should have a Solicitor General, somebody who advises government on non-criminal issues. The contracts, all these electricity things that we end up with judgment debts and whatever it is. Sometimes it's time. You need somebody to focus on that. That should be somebody independent, has a term of office, does the work. And then somebody who now is called the Director of Public Prosecutions, who is prosecuting everybody, and it's too much. So they've given some to SNIT, they've given some to police, they've given some to IOCO. We should properly set up a public prosecutions office that does prosecutions and does it well, separate from a member of cabinet who is appointed by the president, because it is clear to us, after 100 years or so of trying that, somebody cannot come out of a team appointed by the president to prosecute his own people. And we know by experience in this country that a lot of the corruption comes from somehow the executive system. It's the politicians and their friends. So let me make this point and make it clear, because it was very obvious to those of us who were in the beginning. The politicians have never liked the OSP idea. From the beginning, they didn't like it. They made all the arguments they've made. It's the same political process and everything. Then, finally, when we resolved that issue, they said, okay, and that's where Senior Michael Quay comes in. They reluctantly had to yield to the superior argument that, look, we can't continue doing the same things.
Right.
Now, so all these things were there. And there were other things. This is part of why we led for the Auditor General to deal with some of the search. Let me just explain a bit. You have Internal Audit Agency. For preventing corruption, the internal auditors had to do their work. Okay, we have to strengthen that. That is a work ongoing. If that happens, the Auditor General has to catch the malfeasance. When they catch the malfeasance, recently I've spoken to Mr. Domelo and said, look, out of Public Accounts Committee, everybody should go through IOCO, all right, DPP, and then Special Prosecutor. Now, to strengthen that, we fought for RTI. Because things were happening. I went to court to say, look, you need to give us information on bus branding. They refused to. The court ruled in our favor. We got RTI. It's a huge architecture we are dealing with. The OSP was pushed forward and prioritized because executive corruption was terrible. That is also what led the World Bank to start pushing government to put in this causing financial loss law. There's so much that has happened in the past 20 years. So look, when one thing happens over my brother Martin Kpebu, and all of a sudden people want to use that to slash down a lot of work that has been done. Let me say here and now, this country needs the OSP. If we don't want the people, then we need to change them. Building institutions is not a 1 day or 2 day or 10-year affair. Some of these institutions are over 100 years old. They are still there. IOCO has been there all these years. Okay? Why haven't we called for their scrapping? It is because it is touching them. So look, all due respect to some of my friends in Parliament who were making those arguments, we'll meet and we'll talk about it. But these issues have been debated sufficiently. The OSP has not failed. It is a work in progress, and it is a victim of its own high expectations. People are expecting so much out of the OSP. I was one of the first people who criticized the OSP over the Kenofurata issue on another platform, and said that they should go and prosecute him in absentia, even though he was my own friend and mentor. Okay, people said I said Kenofurata shouldn't come to the country. No, I said his presence here was not necessary, and I didn't understand why the OSP was not going forward when it had the powers in law to do so, to prosecute him. It led to all kinds of things. And that is what Martin is taking up on. And saying that, look, you shouldn't have allowed them to go anyway. When I said they should prosecute in absentia, there was a whole discussion about whether absentia prosecution was possible in this country. Today, as we are speaking, the prosecution in absentia is proceeding. After so much talk, a year of no action. And that's what Martin is talking about. The UOSP, there's a reason why you were put there. And please, get down and do your work, stop the talking and act. And now when he says that he has even other information, I haven't accused him of any other thing. Let me say, to his benefit, the OSP has been very useful. In a few years back, people planned to take up the oil refinery. By now, we would have lost it as a country. They were going to basically take it up and buy it for nothing. It is the OSP we went to. I led. We went to, he wrote letters, stopped things. And that's why the oil refinery is there. So there are positives, there are benefits,
so would you say that with the work of the OSP over the period, it justifies its existence?
The OSP existence is extremely justified. Look, even people talk about his budgetary allocations and whatever it is. Look, if the OSP becomes fully functional, and I say so because there are so many things that are left to be done, they will save us multiples. Look, do you know how much one corruption case cost us? So please, even now, I think the OSP is doing good. We just want it to do more. Like I said, it's a victim of its own high expectations. Why are we not putting the same pressure on Yoko? All right? And people talk about the Attorney General. We should go back to the Attorney General. Insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. That Attorney General, that whole office should be reconceived. All right? There are very good men there. I know them. But they are handicapped. And it's not because they don't want to do their job. So please, let us go forward to do the things that we need to do to finish this work that we've started, because we still have a problem with corruption in this country. PPA, okay, is part of the setup that led to this, public procurement, so that you prevent these things. PPA has had its problems. Have we called for the abolition of PPA? We should strengthen PPA, okay, jail the people who are messing around there, okay, and make sure it works.
Well, Professor Michael Kwe
so
did
that's
not
what we
make
should
that
do.
proposal of scrapping it in a vacuum. He says, strengthen the Director of Public Prosecution and also the Attorney General, and they can do the work of the OSP. Even though these were arguments that were advanced during the process of the establishment of the office. Now he says there's some reason to it.
The history will show, one, the auditor, the Attorney General's office is the largest law firm in Ghana. It is the most resourced law firm in Ghana. The people who work in the Attorney General's office averagely are paid better than people in private law firms. Okay? This strengthening argument, we've heard it over and over again, and a lot has been done. Zero. Nothing will make it change because of the basics. All right? Like I'm saying, a president sits at an executive apex, appoints ministers, including one of them who is a prosecutor. And that is in the Constitution. They are bound to do that. That one person cannot turn around and prosecute his own friends and his own colleagues. And let me tell you, today as we speak, the good men who are at the AG's office today, in the last 8 years when people had all kinds of problems and they were in court, when they came in, they issued a series of nolle prosequis. And all those people are free today. Who tells you that the next AG will not issue a series of nolle prosequis for all this series of people who are being, prosecuted
but when
today?
your special prosecutor allows Ofuriatta to run, the value is the same.
Hold on.
When you see the allegations, it's worse. Please, Kofi.
I hear what you're saying, but the point is, you see, a special prosecutor is not the same as the AG.
Oh, it's the same value. It's the same value. We're human beings at the end.
Okay. But you get my point? My point is, we've tried it. And like I said, the AG's office is over 100 years old. And this strengthened them so that we've strengthened and that whatever it is, structurally they are not capable, okay, of doing some of these things. And even if they did, the next round, they will come and issue nolle prosequis. If we set up an independent prosecution entity, separate from the executive, which other people have done, okay, it is more likely that we'll succeed. And the OSP actually, much as they have not succeeded, it's only 7 years old. Give them time. One of these days we'll get a sound, sane, inert, stable, effective person there, and we will be happy that we did what we did. We definitely shouldn't go back to the old system that has failed.
Yebesi toilets, amamu, and all. Yebesi